everyone, to Real Estate with Ryan. Thank you for tuning in. As always, it's a Saturday. We're talking little real estate, and I'm your host, Ryan Coleman, along with my lovely co-host,
April Coleman.
In the house, in the building, talking little real estate. So glad to be with you. So It's been that type of year, hasn't it?
It's always that type of year.
It's that type of, the spring market never disappoints. So if you're in the real estate business, or if you're thinking about, buying or selling, just know that spring in the real estate industry means chaos.
Yes.
Craziness.
It does.
It does. Definitely. In the Coleman house. And all of our staff feels the pain.
That's right.
So we got a good show for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everybody's doing well. School's ending. Is that right? Graduations.
Yeah.
Is it hard to believe graduations?
Already.
My daughter graduated kindergarten. We talked about
did.
that a couple of weeks ago. She's early. And then now high school's graduating.
That's right. So fun.
It's so fun. And it seems like it's going so quick this year.
I know. It has. But at least they get a graduation ceremony this year.
That is good. That is good. I see everything's opening up, and excited about that.
I know. I am too.
So we got a good show. We're talking about real estate. Before I get into real estate, I've been told that I've got to get this on the show. So as the market gets crazier in the spring and summer, we're not slowing down. The market is at record highs. Inventory is low. And if you guys are purchasing or building, you understand the process of everybody's out of everything, right? Everything's back ordered. Everything takes weeks. I was just talking to a great client on the phone. He goes, Ryan, to get somebody over to the house to do something is weeks and months. We just did it ourselves. And so we're running into those things as well. So if you have those projects, stay tuned to this show today. We're going to be talking about, 4 big incentives that homeowners need to sell now. And we're also going to talk about some things that maybe you don't need to do. Let's get the house ready. Let's get it, don't do those updates in this market because it may not even pay off.
Exactly.
And then we got the second part of the show I think you're going to enjoy. So what are we talking about, April?
Oh, we're just going to talk about multiple offers and what you can do to have the upper hand.
We really could go like a whole show with talking about multiple offers, but as we approach the spring and summer markets, it's the busiest. So if you're going to find inventory now and you're going to find that forever home, you got to secure it. So we're going to talk about the second half, how we can secure it and actually get that forever home and hopefully beat out multiple offers.
Exactly.
Or maybe if you're lucky and you're speedy on the draw and you get there first and there's no other offers, make the right offer so that you can expect a possible offer is going to be coming right behind you. Speed is everything. We just helped a client the other day. I think he lost 2 houses, remember?
Yeah.
And we said, hey, we're the first one there. It came active. You got to put this offer in. We got to move quick. Well, they dragged their feet. And then how many hours later, April?
The next day.
No, it was like
I don't know.
A couple hours later, and they had how many offers?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think another 3.
Like 3 or 4 offers, and then we lost the deal.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that in the second part of the show. I want to reach out to you guys as we are busy with the real estate market. We've got some hiring positions open at Hometown Realty. We're looking for people to help in our marketing department. So if you're a social media guy, if you're technically savvy, right? All right. You're good on photography. You're good on videography. You're good in those positions to help our great marketing staff. We're hiring. Check us out on Indeed. So we have some positions there. Administrative staff. We're looking for some people to help keep our clients happy, keep the processes going. We're looking for a property manager, right?
That's right.
Outbound sales. You name it, we're pretty much hiring.
Yeah.
And then we're looking for some great agents to kind of help our clients, 1 or 2, to join our team.
You got
Congrats to Tara the other day. She just put one under contract for what, $1.7 million?
She did.
So everybody's staying busy, team's staying busy, just need some more hands. So we're hiring. If you want to fill out an application or if you want to check us out in Indeed, or if you want to private message me, you can go right through our website at ryancoleman.org and we'll be glad to get back with you.
That's right, because we have a new agent, Tammy, and she's already busy.
Yeah, we're keeping her busy. So try to keep
Negative
everybody
1 day on the job.
try to keep everybody busy. And so I was told by Nick that I need to get
That's right.
this in this show or I'm being in real trouble. We missed out the last show, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, let's talk about 4 tips that you need to know if you're thinking about selling now or why you should be selling now. What's incentivizing me, Ryan? Why should I sell? And one of our clients yesterday that we just put on the market, had on the market for me a couple months. We've got the top tier. It's at the top of the market and didn't have to sell. We see a lot of sellers in today's markets. They don't have to sell. And sometimes now with the rates being so low, this particular seller is going to pull it off the market. He's going to refinance, do some different things, and still sell it. Mm-hmm. So what are some ideas that we can do to put the home on the market and incentivize sellers to sell? With the lack of inventory now, obviously, the National Association of Realtors that there were over 410,000 homes that were just taken off the market recently. And that's in the March market following 2020. The key to continued success in the rental housing market is more listings. Obviously, everybody knows that. But the reason of the marketing is a combination of things. We're talking to a client the other day, April, and I said, the biggest challenge in sales today is the data that we had from last year. Mm-hmm. So the market has exploded, probably you've seen since the first part of the year. But there is no data really from the COVID, right?
Right.
I mean, there were sales, right? But it's kind of an abnormal market.
It was kind of up and down and wishy-washy.
And so now you're just seeing the biggest challenge that we're having is appraisers, mm-hmm. right? Comparables, right? I mean, because, most banks, they want 6 months, 90 days, a year, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you do with that? And so that makes it challenging with the inventory. Your biggest challenge in today's market is not only getting inventory, but securing the right deal. And as a seller, there's some things that you may want to do before selling and may even miss the market. But homeowners really understand that before they start selling, a couple of things need to happen. Well, as we have a great client I was speaking with yesterday, actually today, and yesterday and tomorrow, right?
Every day.
Yeah. It seems like all the days are bleeding together. But we were chatting and we're saying, okay, listen, I got to do a couple of these things. Well, 1 week turned into a month and a half with getting things done. But keep in mind, presentation is everything. So if we don't have the right presentation, they're not going to pull up, even in a hot market, mm-hmm. right? And we've got some properties that you'll see out there that if we don't do some of the things and we don't lean on our agent's advice, you're going to have that challenge in the marketplace that even though the market is inventory, just because there's lack of inventory doesn't mean that you can just do anything
right.
and just say, well, I'm not going to paint it. I know that there's some scuffs. Mm-hmm. I know it needs some mulch and stuff, but we're just going to put it out there.
Right.
What have you seen when we do that? We try to take that shortcut.
People complain about it.
Well, why do they complain?
And they say, this needs a little refreshing, or, I was expecting a little bit better. It needs this or that. When you could have already taken care of those things kind of on the upfront and made it look a little bit more appealing for the people.
And I think one challenge is that in this marketplace today that, sellers know that they're in a driver position, mm-hmm. So that pricing is key. And then we got to kind of have that conversation that, the seller thinks one price, and I can tell you I'm probably a handful or more just this week. They say, Ryan, can we go up in price? Can we go higher in price? What about maybe, I've done this, we've done that. We'll just go a little higher. So, that's the challenge. Or what do you do in this market, April, where we have great sellers, but the market's not responding to them, even when there's limited inventory?
Then you have to look at the price.
But that's what you realtors think is just the price. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of the
Did you just say you realtors?
Yeah, you realtors.
I think you just said that.
But isn't that let's be honest. If we're being honest, that's what the consumers think. I mean, that we're just going to try to get a lower sale. Mm-hmm. And that's really not the case. In a real estate market or anything that you buy or sell, it's worth what a buyer is willing to pay. And the challenge with this market, if we're doing a homework and we know our studies, we know that if you've got a great property in today's market and we've got busy bees that are showing it and we've got great activity mm-hmm. and then there's no offers, something's wrong, mm-hmm. right? What could that be?
I don't know.
What could that be?
What could that be?
Could that be the price?
Could it be?
Could be. What if we have great activity, then it kind of dies off? Mm. Could that be the price?
Could be.
And a lot of things come down to the price, but you guys understand that with the market, buyers are very keen on where the market's going. Mm-hmm. And understanding that is everything. So if you don't have the right price, don't have the right marketing, these things will all kind of come into play. I don't know.
So what do you think about the market now?
Well,
do you think that we had a really big, explosive, nice, crazy market and now it's kind of dying down? Do you feel that way?
I think you're seeing a push. So when I looked up yesterday, we had some sales in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg that I was doing some comparables for an agent. for an agent, for my client, right? That is an agent. Is that kind of funny, right?
There you go.
And he said, Ryan, I've been in the real estate business for a while, but I'm thinking about selling this property. I pulled it up the other day and we had 115 properties in just the 1,400 to 1,800 square feet. But they were all pending prior. And so I think you're right. I think you are getting a little bit of a cool down. So we're coming on a break. Stay with us. We're going to talk more real estate with Ryan. Make sure you stay with us after the break.
That's right.
Knoxville and East Tennessee. The region is known for its rolling hills, rivers, and lakes. There's no better place to work, live, or raise a family. Home is where your story begins. Buying or selling your home is a big decision, and you need a real estate team you can trust.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, your hometown experts. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let us develop a winning game plan for you.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
Your friend promised we wouldn't be homeless.
He promised. He's doing everything to fix it.
You need to call and have him fix it now.
Hey, man.
Found us a house.
No, not yet. Let me call you back. We're working on it.
Ryan Coleman with Hometown
He says he's doing the best he can do, honey.
Well, he's taking too long. I knew we should have gone with Ryan Coleman.
Choosing the right agent is never easy.
Call your hometown experts. We'll take care of all the details and make sure you don't get stuck in a motel.
All right, guys, thanks for coming back on the break. We're talking a little real estate. And as we were coming up on that break, we're talking about is the market kind of cooling off and what we saw in the spring market. How are we feeling that now?
With the summer.
With the summer. I don't know. I kind of feel like things are booming. But at that same time, what we saw probably a couple months ago, that's kind of where we're talking about some of the incentives for sellers to sell now versus waiting. What we saw before was 25 offers, 20 offers, 7 offers,
Yes.
7,500, 1,000 overpriced. Now we've got, well, did we do the things that we need to do? And kind of what I was talking about the first part of the show, do we have the sellers kind of going, Ryan, I want more. I want more. Let's just go higher. Let's go higher. And then, it's great. It's a great, you want to get as much as you can. You've got to trust your agent in the marketplace. You got to trust your team, because if you don't do that, you're going to be in the position where the market changes on a dime.
Yes.
And then before you know it, we've had some activity and then it's kind of got cold.
Right.
And I think so. The answer, April, is I do think that there's some cooling off period. It depends what market you're in. If you're under 200,000, there's a limited supply. If you're in the cabin market, that's a different atmosphere, more of an investor.
Right.
If you're in our luxury market, that's a different market. It depends on each market. That's why there's just not one question that answers that whole, or one answer that answers the question, hey, how's the market, or what's the market like? It's just a loaded question because it's different and specialized.
Yeah. And I think also you have to look at what's going on with the season. And like we were talking about, graduation's going on. Everybody's busy. They're starting to plan their beach vacations or going on vacation wherever. And so I think that you have to take into account that. Don't get nervous because it was, oh my gosh, everybody was beating down the door for my home and now it's cooling off a little bit. Well, things happened then. And now everybody may be in this period of being very busy and caught up with different things. And then it'll start picking back up again. So don't get nervous.
Well, buyers like that. And so as a buyer, I'm thinking, okay, now I have an opportunity to even get a shot. I can get in the door. I can make an offer. Maybe I can do a little wheeling and dealing. And so maybe has some of that shifted in the market, some to the buyer. Don't get me wrong. The market still is, I looked at yesterday, it was about 1,600 homes in the market. But we're seeing an increase of homes come on the market, which is good. It's this time of the season. Spring and summer is where most of the inventory is going to come on the market.
Right.
But, it is challenging where we think we're going to get a certain price. And how about we've got certain prices well above.
Yeah.
And I think that will kind of tie into what we're talking on the second part of the show. Getting offers on the property, dealing with your agents that understand, is it worth what it is on the paper? Does it make sense? And is it real?
Right.
What do you think I mean by real, April?
Well, because I think some of the buyers come in and they say, I want this property. I'm going to pay whatever I need to pay for it and put it down on a piece of paper. So I'm going to offer $75,000 over what you're asking. and it's going to look really good, and you're going to be wowed by my offer, and you're going to accept it immediately.
Wow, and why wouldn't I do that?
I mean,
75
why
over list
wouldn't
price.
you?
What do we have to think? Hey, give me the pen. Where do I sign?
I know.
There's nothing to think about.
Let's go.
Sign the deal. It's done.
Yeah. But
So-
then your agent.
So
will
what's
tell
wrong with
you.
that?
So what's wrong with that is that, will it even appraise? Is there any comparables out there that it appraise at that price?
Well, April, that's their problem. That's not mine. Give me my money. Right? Just show me the money, right? That's not my problem. They want to buy the cabin, they can figure that out.
Yeah, well, they don't have to pay above appraisal price.
So tell me, April, what are we experiencing? So what you're telling me in the market that's extremely low inventory, things are selling. I get an offer above list price. Why would that not work out?
It may not work out because they do not have comparables like your house with that same price that's $75,000 above what you're asking, and they'll come in a lower appraisal price. Now, the thing is that some people are doing, and that we've even asked when we receive an offer, is your buyer willing to waive the appraisal contingency since they're paying or offering so much over the appraisal? Are they going to waive that contingency? And if not, how much are they willing to pay over a purchase price or appraisal price and bring in that cash? And then show me that you have that cash to pay the difference. So that way,
Are people really doing that?
people are really doing that.
I mean, obviously I know that they're doing that, but I mean, there's the audience out there. Do they really? We don't see all that. You can't find that on Zillow or
Right, that's true.
Realtor.com. And that's what we tell you guys, that your best marketing strategy or your best teammate is your realtor team. And there's no I in teamwork, right? It takes a great team, even in a hot market, because with the hot market, your agents, if you have a good agent on your team in your corner, your team knows what's going on. They know what's selling. Didn't that what Dave said?
Exactly.
$80,000 more on a typical house. Last show we were talking about than going with an agent. So there's power by getting the right agent working for you. So you know these things that you can't find online.
Right.
And today's data are not the sales that happened 6 months ago.
No.
And even
not
the
at
pendings may not even be the real data.
Right.
We just pretty much sold a whole subdivision. I'm about to go sell another one in this little area. And it's all been word of mouth. And it's because I've sold the highest price. I mean, a lot of pressure.
I know.
I mean, and then now I got to sell a higher price. So again, that bubble will eventually bust. It's not going to, the ride won't last forever. And I think some of the things that April and I were chatting about was things to look at on the contract that comes through. You know, and one of the typical things that we see is when that contract comes in, it looks really, really juicy on the front end. We say juicy, right? And get excited. But then you look down at the
very bottom.
At the bottom, and it says all these things. And if you're doing it by owner, or you're doing it with not the proper guidance, you're not going to know the difference.
Right.
And so the challenge is we get a lot of buyers or buyers agents that come in, and they have a really, really low deposit, really low escrow. First thing is, if you have a low escrow, the odds that the deal closes is probably slim.
Right.
I mean, let's understand that if I'm going to tie the property up in one of the hottest markets ever, and I put $1,000 or $2,000 down, what's the chances that if I changed my mind, or I watched the news, or I watched Fox or CNN, and I get scared, what happens?
Right.
What's the first thing I say?
Yeah.
I'm changing my mind.
Yeah.
And then now you've even taken renters, you've moved all your stuff, you've canceled plans, you moved vacations. And now, as what April was talking about, when the market was changing a little bit, it's kind of cooling. Before you know it, we fall into fall, right?
Right.
And then now we're back starting over. I mean, that truly could be the difference for one we're looking at, could be $50,000, $70,000 difference. So starting with a good escrow, what else, April, do we see that routinely comes in?
Escalation clause for multiple offers. That's another one to be on the lookout for. So this is why we're talking about, now is a great time to sell, because if you get those competing offers, then a good buyer's agent is going to put in an escalation clause to say, hey, this price is at $500, but I'm willing to pay $520 for this property. So I'm going to go over $1,000 of the highest offer, $2,000, $5,000, whatever it is, to say, well, if somebody comes in at, $525, I'll go $5,000 over that up to $530 or whatever the max price is that you want to come in at. So that makes it appealing.
That's one of the challenges. So you see these little escalation clauses, but you really have to kind of pull the curtains back to see really what the offer is.
Mm-hmm.
The stronger the buyer, the stronger the financing or cash is going to be your ideal to close. And I'm a firm believer that obviously you want to get more money, but sometimes just having on paper, it looks like it could go up to whatever price may not be your best deal.
Right, because it could be all of these contingencies of inspection and this and wanting to see the property and, if this happens or that happens. And so it may be an appraisal contingency where someone else may not have a appraisal contingency and pay $5,000 less.
And a lot of times they'll use the appraisers, and we'll go into the day's market, that the appraisers are almost 30 to 40 days and they're running to the last minute. So they'll write the contract. And if you don't watch it, you'll make sure that your appraisal is to the last minute. And then all the leverage goes to the other side, if there's another side, and then get down to the table and try to renegotiate.
Exactly.
So exactly not what you want to do.
No.
If you're thinking about selling in this market, hopefully we demonstrated that we can kind of help you, guide you through that process. It's never easy. I don't know if today's going to be the right time to sell. Maybe it's in a year, maybe 2 years. We're always here for you. That's why we do the shows every week. We're in your backyard, whether you're buying land, while you're buying luxury waterfront, buying a condo, or just buying a little single family home. We're here to help you.
That's right.
And we thank you every week for coming in, talking a little real estate. Glad to have April in here.
Yes, that's
talking
right.
a little real estate. Glad to see you today.
Thank you.
Well, good. Glad to be with all you guys. As you know, we always sponsor our great Vols. Excited for what they've got coming up in the spring season, and excited to be with you guys. So you listen to us every week here live on the radio, 11 and 1 o'clock. You can reach us at 693-SOLD, or you can visit us at ryancoleman.org. And as always, we'll see you next week, and enjoy your weekend. And thank you for tuning in to Real Estate with Ryan.
Thank you.